somebody had sent me something, I mean, several weeks ago, man, saying, "Hey, man, can you please investigate the California Otter Man?" And I was like, sure, it's on my list, man, but that list is just, it's a long list.
Yeah.
And when I heard that the Tingit word for Kutashka is land otter, man, it made me think like, yeah, man, that's just weird that somebody had 2 or 3 weeks ago said, "Hey, man, check out the Otter Man of California," and they're saying the land otter man. Now, otters are both land-based and water-based, right? And I actually think that this is some type of cryptid Bigfoot, man, that's comfortable in caves, in the woods, and in the water, man. I really think that, man, that this is something that this the creature is. And I'll tell you, I think the catalyst was that road and that mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get your opinion on that, because up until they cut that road in, right in like 1927, they started building on that road, and that chromite mine started taking off. This, I mean, like you said, man, we referenced the case from 1915, but it wasn't nowhere near.
No, it was like it was happening. Yeah. Sure, people were disappearing.
Yeah.
But not at the rate as it was happening once that road was created.
Yes.
They disturbed the area.
Yeah.
They brought more traffic through.
Yeah.
And there was a lot more activity going on in the mines.
Yeah.
You're saying.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And so again, and this area was untouched. This was pristine. Yeah. The natives wouldn't go there. They wouldn't go there. Like, this was the wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they showed up. And another thing too, the natives also described these as being protectors of the forest and the animals. The fur trade kicked off. They were killing these animals. They were skinning these animals. They were cutting down. They were cutting the trees down. They were banging the mines. I think as long as they would have stayed with the fish, they might have had a chance, man. But I think once they cut that road in, and again, we've talked about this before. You know, my number one theory is, I actually have talked to some people that these Bigfoots are all cave dwellers, and we've talked about that as well, man. That the Appalachian is just littered with caves, and that I think that chromite mine was that pickaxe or whatever was going on there, or the dynamite. Who knows how it was mining, right? You woke them up, and I think it was more than one. I think it was quite a few of them that was out there and operating in that. Yeah. And yeah, man.
Yeah, and you bring a good point, saying that if they had just stuck to the fishing and the cannery, that probably would have kept things going a lot longer. Because think of it, at that point, you're focused just on the water.
Right.
Look at all your other options: hunting, mining, and logging.
Yeah.
You're going out in the woods.
Yeah.
You're going into their territory, and you're disrupting their territory.
Yeah.
If they had just stayed to themselves right in the water, that's a good point. They probably would have had a lot better chance of survival out there.
Yeah, I would think too, man. I would think they would have had a better chance of survival, and I think that but again, man, they held out 10 years longer than me, because when the Tinglets left, I'm driving. Come on, jump in. I'm leaving with them. Forget it. I don't want it this bad, man. That's why I want to do it. Now, before you tell me what you're about to tell me, man, I want to hear that. Fun question.
Yeah.
Would you go on an expedition here, heavily armed, to try to get proof of these things?
I don't think so.
Man,
I'm not going out and disrupting them.
Yeah. You know what, man? Like, normally I'm a go guy, right? But I think in this situation, right? I'm thinking I'm not testing these waters, bro. I will tell you, man. The 130 disappearances are making me think like, hey, you know what? I'm not like I'm no different than them guys that were living out there back. Now my technology would be different. I'd be out there with nods and infrareds and AR-15s, but like, I'm thinking I don't want it that bad.
That might not help you.
Exactly.
That might not help you.
Yeah, exactly, man. I don't want it that bad. I even thought to myself too, man. I said, you know what? What if I went out there? What if we went out there, man, on like a boat, like not just like a luxury boat, like a little small military grade tugboat, 12 man boat, right? And that was our base of operations. And then it got me thinking, like, no, these things would probably climb out of the water. I think they're aquatic. I think the otters would just, man. So no, let's just don't go there, bro.
Yeah, because it's true. This is really the first time I'm hearing of such aggressive Bigfoot stories.
Yeah.
You always hear about Bigfoot, and he's just people spot him.
Yeah.
Off in the distance in the woods, and he's minding a little business, walking through the woods, and I've never heard before this. I've never heard of a Bigfoot attack.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one thing to go hunting for Bigfoots, out here and on the, the lower 48, as you were saying, because they seem docile. They seem to not want to be found. That's it.
They might chuck a rock at you, right? Like you get a little close.
Exactly. Like get away. But these will mess you up.
Yeah, these will have you. Yeah. So yeah, and that's the thing, man. I'm thinking like, that's what gives me a pause, man. Like, oh, you can get it. No, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I would like, look, the Bigfoots here will at least tell me to give me a chance to leave. These guys, they're not, right? So yeah.
No.
So yeah, bro. I think that scratch that off the to-do list that we don't need to go to Port Chutlam, man, and Portlock or
Portlock.
Yeah. I believe you. So
yeah.
All right. So tell me your thing there, Steve.
Yeah. So as I was researching this, the whole Portlock everything. Another thing that I found out was, did you hear about the area called Thomas Bay? That's another area. It's another coastal area in Alaska. Portlock is southwest coast. Thomas Bay is southeast coast, closer to almost closer to where the Canadian border is and everything like that.
Okay.
But down that way. So again, we're talking about the same time period, early 1900s, is when things started kind of bustling over there. It's a pretty large area, also very remote. But Thomas Bay is also nicknamed Devil's Country at this point. Because there have been, dating over 100 years now, reports of what people have called the devil creatures, which that's what initially the first report, the guy said that they were devil creatures, but over time, the report is they're also Bigfoot-like.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.